Before we get started, Cowboys Nation, make sure you hit that subscribe button and activate notifications right now. We post every breaking update, every rumor, every analysis. And if you don't click subscribe, you will miss something important about our Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys Nation, get ready because this conversation goes far beyond a regular loss on Thursday Night Football. The 44-30 result against the Detroit Lions felt like a punch in the stomach, but what came after the game might end up being even bigger than the scoreboard itself. We're talking about responsibility, effort, accountability, and the internal pressure of wearing the star on your helmet. And yes, George Pickens is right in the middle of it. Pickens closed the night with 5 catches for 37 yards, and under normal circumstances, numbers like that would be disappointing, but understandable. However, these weren't normal circumstances. CeeDee Lamb had exited with a concussion. The offense desperately needed someone to take control, and Pickens was supposed to be the guy the Cowboys could trust in that exact moment. Instead, the passing game stalled. Dak found himself constantly under pressure, and Pickens became almost invisible during key drives. That's when Richard Sherman, working the post-game coverage, went straight at him. Sherman's comments weren't mild or diplomatic. He called Pickens uninterested, suggested that his body language showed little to no urgency, and questioned if Pickens understands the responsibility of being a number 1 receiver in a franchise that expects greatness every single year. And let's be honest, when a respected voice like Sherman calls you out on national television, the NFL world listens, the fan base listens, and most importantly, the locker room listens. Pickens answered online. And the answer was everything short of calm. He posted a heated message full of explicit language, challenging Sherman's credibility and basically suggesting that without the Legion of Boom, nobody would even know his name. That reaction, while emotional, may have crossed a line and immediately spread around social media. Even though the post got deleted, screenshots went viral, and suddenly this wasn't just Sherman talking about football anymore. Now it was a public back and forth that forced the Cowboys organization to step in. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer admitted during his media availability that conversations will happen privately and that every player needs to stay focused on football rather than social media noise. But behind the scenes, people know very well the stakes for Dallas at this stage of the season. The Cowboys are entering a critical stretch. Injuries keep piling up, and losing composure off the field is the last thing this team needs. Every distraction becomes ammunition for opponents. Every emotional misstep becomes a national headline, and Dallas has lived through decades of this kind of media storm. The real debate now is more complex than a bad night. Sherman has a reputation for recognizing when a young receiver needs a push. His own career was built on overcoming criticism, pressure, and expectation. Pickens, on the other hand, is immensely talented. Nobody questions that. But the NFL isn't only about talent. Durability, attitude, and consistency separate great players from temporary flashes. Cowboys fans know how many superstars passed through this franchise and still never elevated the team when it mattered most. Pickens has already shown that he's capable of highlight-level catches and explosive plays. That's why Dallas invested in him and believed he could complement Lamb the same way great Cowboys receivers complemented each other in the past. The question isn't whether Pickens can play. The question is if he can lead, if he can remain reliable when the pressure is suffocating, and when the team needs him more than ever. Because right now, reliability might matter more than raw talent. For the fan base, this is a defining moment. The Cowboys depend on stability, especially during the late season, and emotional outbursts can erase trust incredibly fast. If Pickens wants to prove Sherman wrong, he has only one path: stepping onto the field and producing the kind of performance that forces every critic to reconsider their words. Nothing shuts up a critic faster than touchdowns and big plays. So now, Cowboys Nation, I want you to drop your opinion in the comments. Do you agree with Sherman? Was this a necessary reality check or an unfair attack? And most importantly, will Pickens bounce back immediately or let this turn into a storyline that follows him for the rest of his career? If you want every detail about this situation and all upcoming Cowboys news, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell right now. This is Cowboys Nation, and we dem boys.